On. Next up here. Hey, thank you. Now, Todd Waterfield is challenging my eyesight here with his bio. Todd has been commercial fishing since 1996. His first job was as a set netter in Cook Inlet. Since then, Todd has participated in many different fisheries: herring fishing in Norton Sound, hooligan fishing in the Big Sioux, Dungeness crab in Puget Sound and off the Washington coast, halibut, cod fishing, king crab, apelio, and pollock in the Bering Sea. He has been a Bristol-based salmon drift netter since 2009. In the off-season, he is a licensed engineer in the U.S. Merchant Marines. And Todd also participated in the Fisher Poets back in 2009. So let's hoop it up for Todd Waterfield.
I really enjoyed your chat.
Oh, thank you.
Hi. So I did this about 10 years ago. I came down, and my wife and I were living in Bellingham, Washington. And, thanks. And in the meantime, I guess we weren't married at the time. I guess at that point I was new to the Bristol Bay, and I was getting ready to propose to her in a gear shack in Naknek, Alaska. We met in Kasilof, Alaska, on a fishing site. And I'd gone through many machinations, went to school, became a merchant mariner. Today is Saturday. Most people just think of it as Saturday. As a tankerman, I've been a tankerman for 4 years. We think of it as Burger Day. Burger Day is every Saturday. We have burgers at afternoon. So this first poem comes from the Merchant Marine, and the next one kind of speaks to a little bit of the Merchant Marine, but also fishing. And then I'll get back into some just straight fishing stuff. But this one's called Burger Day number 7. For centuries, mariners have plied the seas, some whaling folk, some trading teas. They've circled round this great big earth and seen the world birth by birth. They've sailed in peace and during war, spent half their lives far from shore. But half their lives they've left at home. Perhaps not the half that warrants poems, but half indeed that they all miss. Long lazy days, a lover's kiss, a life when pressed, they must admit, beats holy hell out of any ship. So it was when they stepped aboard, this half of life they looked forward. And the days on ship they'd soon forget, for signing on they now regret, but cope and endure the best they can until the day they return to land. Each mariner has a special trick for marking time upon their trip, for making small the days ahead to reach that life they'd live instead. Some tricks are smart and others thick. Some mark their days and use toothpicks. Some whittle notches above their bed. Some count the ports they make instead. Some measure tours and packs of smokes, yet others count in cans of Cokes. For us who sail the tanker trade, we count our time in burger days. Each Saturday upon our hitch, we advance our clock one sandwich. Lettuce, pickles, cheese, and bun. 4 more burgers till I'm done. I'm really sorry there's not a table to set my beer. I am a fisherman after all, and a mariner. Okay, this one's called Attack of the Angry Seaman. Oh, lonely sea, what a mistress you've been to me over the years. You've blown away all my distress and absorbed all of my tears. But now that I've truly made landfall, settled up for the voyage I've made, it seems futile to argue and forestall. That's about time I ought to get laid. I know that you've warned me against it, making traffic with their feminine kind, but be reasonable for an instant. Did you get a look at that woman's behind? Or how about those mammaries? Or how about those legs? I'll wave all my pride and say, please, I'll get down on my knees and beg. For these angry seamen aboard ship are aching for some kind of reprieve and searching for any open slip that will offer some sort of relief, and catch their lines in a hurry, make them fast but not too tight, and won't trouble them with any worry if their affections are just for a night. So off they go down the gangplank, hysterical, lusty, and ripe, destined to meet up with some skank, destined to get in a fight. Blinded by powerful spirits, emboldened by perilous states, they no longer comprehend what fear is, no longer think or hesitate. So a warning to all of you lawmen, some advice to you virginal souls. These rogues are not merely pretend, and conversation not merely their goals. They'll terrorize your village and colonize your loins. Your decency they will pillage, and bastards they will coin. They were born of the Symplegades, whose narrow channel barely released, the spawn of Gomorrah and Hades, the nightmare of kings and priests. Men who were made of the tempest, men calling ocean their homes, men who lived under their own crest and wrote their own sacred tomes. For the sea has made their metal, strong-tempered with lustrous brand, not intended to be henpecked or settled, collared or fed from one's hand, but seduced after long adventure, some of these do get caught and destroyed by civilization and its censure, and the sirens it's thought to employ. But fear not, my beautiful mistress, for the lover will always return. He may be a wit or a sperm less, but his passion for you will still burn. And you can scold him with thundering rancor, saltpeter his profligate, but don't expect the next time he drops anchor, he'll just set tight and just masturbate. Expect another great mutiny, hatched down deep below decks, where Adam is offered the whole fruit tree and the devil fingers suspects, where angry seamen cajole him to make land on the next of high tides, but know that your love and your strength surely hold him, if on the rocks his soul should collide. Sorry, I kind of butchered that, but thank you. This is a short one. This comes from the Bering Sea. This is what I drew my inspiration from. It was sort of the 5-year plan, and the money, but also just the wildlife that was out there with us, and didn't seem to bat an eye at what we were doing. It's called Guts. Let me take a drink. Would I had a seagull's guts to carry on through life's hard ruts and raise aloft in any weather, smooth and light and tough as leather. Its eyes so keen and always looking, body lean but never brooking, always searching for a tiny scrap of wood, of meat, of any crap. To swallow whole and add to nourish, its meager soul will surely flourish, for every bit, however small, takes wit and strength from every gull. To claim for self what others want, their gift of life comes from no font, but is won from strife and hard learning. They stoke a fire that's always burning, and fly what seems like days, and try in so many ways to eke a life out in the foam. Over endless ocean they endless roam, and hardly blink as if it's all so easy, as if the gale we face to them's just breezy, and the giant waves that crash on us, to them too small to raise a fuss, and the rotten bait that would make us retch seems a delicious meal they'd like to catch. And the winks of sleep we so desire leave them wondering, why so tired? It's in their eyes, this dogged streak. Compared to them, our souls are weak. So when I catch them on the deck, So when I take them in my hand, for on the deck they cannot stand, I try to treat them with respect, for though their life looks like a speck, their example helps me endure the pain, the bitter cold and icy rain, the long and terrible monotonous hours, my cramping legs and fading powers. I release them gently to join their kind, and hope to God their strength I'll find. I just got two more. This one's kind of about tendering. I did that sometimes with the crab boat, and I never liked it. Sorry, if you tendermen are out there, I mean, if some people are into it, I'm not. This is called Lay Your Anchor Down. 0600 we idled in to that morning mist and seagull din. Atop the bow we stood against a bitter breeze, less stiff than tense, and braced ourselves against the lash of that squawking voice that from metal gash. The hailer crackling as the skipper groused, a tiresome squelch down from the house. 4 shots now, boys, freewheel away. And we dropped the anchor into that bay. The chain sang out as it went, carrying across those rusty dents it left behind from those times before we'd let it out an untold score. In 1,000 coves, just like this one, it'd be 1,000 more before we're done. It seems that way, at least at last, as our futures mixed up with our past. And we stared into that thickly haze, and visions lost slept through our gaze of happy times, of sun and land, of smiles and laughs and moistened glands, when times were good and worth remembering, not poisoned, lost, and dismembering. Scattered round by wind and tide, on a hopeless voyage we now abide. Boredom broader than the seas, loneliness that brings you to your knees, and doubt more crippling than the cross, a panic-stricken tempest toss. What prayers no longer hold us fast, and we dealt the devil down to his last. It's hard just then to carry on, to not imagine your woman gone, your plants dried up, your pets all dead, oceans emptying inside your head, a scuttled ship, a year at sea, flotsam floating like spirits freed, your life evading in spin drift, closed and fading in this rift, swallowed up by 2 great waves. You grabbed the shovel and dug your grave. You married that anchor as it went down. The vows you spoke were what made you drown. And all because you hoped to seek some vague adventure and Sinbad chic, to tell your friends and swoon the girls that you'd conquered the seas and its frosty curls, that you'd rode its monsters and combed its shores, that the life you'd led was not sold in stores, but genuine and tough to boot, a raucous, raging, authentic hoot, with anecdotes that barred repeating and characters that life's not cheating. That's things that only you could tell, like Dante bursting out of hell. It was this lie so self-convinced that had made your life into this mince and discovered you there upon that deck, a hapless tenderman on a rusty wreck, stranded again in some nameless bay with nothing to do but count the days and share them with some tedious lot whose conversations like dried blood clot, whose antics have all gotten old, and stories are all thrice told, whose powers of simple comprehension had suffered some great declension, and were worsening on towards some bitter break, where God might be blamed for his mistake, and man might suffer in that blunder, to stand on deck and out loud might wonder, what the fuck am I doing here? Okay, my last one comes from Bristol Bay fishing. I fished with the same couple for the last 9 years. They're an older couple, they're in their 80s, and the old man's kind of ornery. It's called I'll Be Your Friend. It's the Ballad of the Big Red. I don't know if anybody knows the Big Red. Yeah, but maybe you've run across this before. I'll be your friend. I don't know your boat, don't know your name. I don't know where you're from, y'all look the same. Metal dinghies bobbing round, don't fit the figures I see in town. Don't match the rigs I wave to on the roads. Don't put up stop signs saying, that's so-and-so. So if I see an opening, I'll surely set. I'll cork you off like we've never met. I'll give you room, but what I see fit. You can call me names, I don't give a shit. I know it's rotten, I know it's rude, But don't blame me for this attitude. 40 years I've been coming here, killing fish and cracking beers, working hard and having fun. I'll be a fisherman till I'm done. And sometimes that means I'll make you mad. I'll take the fish you could have had. But that's the nature, that's the business. You drift the bay, you're sure to witness a million slights to your person. They'll hack and cut without aversion. And most you'll say, it's not worth my time. But God have mercy, you cross that line. I keep a gun under my pillow. Engines roar, black smoke billows. I'll grab your buoy in place of mine. I'll shove that buoy where the sun don't shine. I'll tear your net and cut your rope. I'll thrash your gear till there is no hope of catching fish or making mends. But in the morning, I'll be your friend. That's it. Thank you.